Hello and welcome to 6 Degrees of Feature Film Podcast. I am Kevin Bacon, also known as Brienne, also known as Ms. Movies.
And am I a graboid? Or am
You're
I?
always a
I'm always a
graboid.
graboid.
That's an honor.
That's
Mhm.
true. That's very true. Also known as Stacey Howard. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
we've
Hey.
got a guest today. It's Sam Bashor.
Hey.
Hi, Sam. Hi, new
Hi.
friend.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for driving 2.5 hours to be here. We feel very special
I'd
because
love
of that.
to. No, because I love talking about movies, and it's worth any drive.
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
I'm going to tell you, because I
Mhm.
forgot before we started, to keep your microphone really close to your mouth because they're cheap microphones, even though they're primary
Oh.
colors, which we just discovered.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because red and blue makes purple.
Hey.
Whoa.
Blue and yellow makes green.
Whoa.
And red and yellow make orange. Oh my gosh.
We're
It
all
is a
learning.
rainbow.
We're all one color, and that is the color of film. That
Mhm.
analogy didn't make sense. I don't know. It just came out of me.
I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. I tried.
So
What are
here's
we
how
talking about?
this is how the show
Okay,
works. What we do, it's 6 Degrees of Feature Film. Thanks for joining us. We take one film and we show how 6 other films link up to it in some random way, shape, or form. But before we do that, we like to get to know our guest a little bit better. So Sam, what can you tell us about yourself or about to everyone?
Well,
That's
hi.
watching.
I like to do YouTube.
Okay.
I've done it before for years
Many years.
which is weird because I'm a little baby. But I like to talk about movies, specifically comic books. But I also do like TV show reviews, movie reviews, and I have a podcast right now with my buddy DJ. It's called Only Stupid Answers. We want you guys to come on too. But we talk about
Yes.
that's like we came up with a fun name, and then we forgot the premise of answering questions. We just start talking about movies and things we liked.
Right.
So yeah, but that's my main bread and butter right now. And yeah, you can check that out, onlystupidanswers.com.
You also have a Patreon for that, is that right?
Yes, just launched it, and everyone's been so supportive so far. And then like 10 other
Nice.
people I know online launched their own Patreons
Yeah.
at the
Thanks,
same
Phil.
time.
Thanks, Phil
Hi,
DeFranco,
Phil.
for launching the same day.
Yes.
Okay. Stacy also met DJ on Movie Fights last week.
Yes,
Mhm.
I did.
Tall boy.
Yes,
Mhm.
very tall. He won. He did amazing. I was so proud of him. I was
He
proud
is
to fight
very
against him.
he's very passionate.
He is.
He's very
yes.
passionate.
Mhm,
Mhm.
He killed it though. He kicked ass. We
Mhm.
all had so much fun, and we can't wait to go back. So that was a great time, and I'm glad to know him, and I'm glad to know you now.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're
Well, thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So our first film today, our feature film, is Tremors, which came out January 19th, 1990. If you have never seen Tremors, just like me, I didn't see it till a few days ago.
What?
Whoa.
This
This
was
is
a
about-
staple
That
of
is
my
one of my
childhood.
favorite. Yeah, mine too.
I
It's
can't
so,
believe it.
It's so
My mind
dumb.
is glowing right now. All right.
Really?
sorry. What's
Is
the
it?
synopsis,
Okay,
Brian?
here's the
Okay.
synopsis.
All right,
Natives
all right.
of a small isolated town defend themselves against strange underground creatures, which are killing them one by one.
So good.
Graboids.
So good. Only
So-
reason this movie got popular is because of Kevin Bacon. And
Kevin
then they
Bacon.
Okay, wait, hold on. Don't
Uh-huh.
undersell the fantastic Reba McEntire.
Oh no,
She
you're right.
is. I mean,
A
I feel
redhead.
like I'm a
Mhm.
young, less attractive Reba McEntire.
Didn't your Twitter profile like say that you're Reba
It
McEntire
used
like
to
for
say
a
that
while?
I'm the hip hop Reba McEntire.
Okay.
I've been
Oh.
called that before, and
Mhm.
it spoke to my soul.
That's a good
so I kept
tattoo.
it. And then, I try and update the bio every now and then just to keep it fresh and keep it light,
Mhm.
Mhm.
But this movie, this was her first film, and it solidified her as a powerhouse. She is the J-Lo of the country music world.
Mm.
She can sing, she can act, she is muscular. I don't know if she can dance, but I feel like that's kind of the same thing nowadays. If you have muscles, you can like move. She's amazing.
I'm gonna disagree with
she's
that.
an incredible
But
she's an incredible performer. She is my Whitney Houston. She just has she is a songbird of epic proportions. And I don't mean to put my hand in front of your face, but
It's
it looks
okay.
like I'm like cupping it
Mhm.
a little bit. And my
Yeah.
hands look really weird right now. All right, I'm gonna take my hand off it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Tremors. This movie rocks.
Mhm. No, I my parents were the parents that would show us movies that we probably shouldn't have seen as kids.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a lot of movies.
Mine
like,
didn't. That's
oh,
why I got to catch up on things.
There's so many like Die Hard Christmas movies since I was a baby. Like we all
Wow.
will watch it every single year, never missing a beat. But same thing with Tremors. It's like for some reason July, like we all like have the same idea. We're like, you know what? It's time to watch Tremors, and we
Yeah.
like
Oh,
cheer
totally a
for
4th
it.
of July movie.
It's so good.
It's always on TBS.
Yes,
It's one
it
of the, oh
is.
my gosh, or USA.
Mhm.
Wow,
Like,
guys. I didn't have cable growing up either. I was pretty much Amish.
Ooh.
That's kinda-
wow.
I'm have to
This
catch up on
explains so many
everything.
things.
Again, this is why I miss movies.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
that's where the name kind of comes from.
No, it was what's funny. So I grew up in that same kind of household where
Mhm.
like you just watched HBO way too young.
Yes.
Like there were so many movies that was super inappropriate. So this came out the year of my birth, 1990. I'm a 90s baby.
Hey.
And it was full of F words
Mm.
before they cut a lot of them out so that it didn't
Right.
get an R rating. And there's a lot of like redubbed ones that are pretty hilarious, like Mother Bumpers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or Mother Humpers,
Mother
I think
Humpers,
it is.
That's a
think it's-
classic.
But I like Mother Bumpers more.
Mhm.
There are 2 Mother Humpers of these left, I believe 2 left. Once they kill one of them, but yeah, this film to me it just personified everything that was like dirty and grimy and gross about the South, and I
Mhm.
was like feeling it because I'm from Texas. So I
Mhm.
was like, I feel like this is my homeland a little bit.
Very cool.
Hmm.
My family is from like Colorado and like Arizona and all those places. So whenever we have to do family trips, I always kind of imagined like graboids out in the desert. And actually,
You play games
I-
as a kid.
Yeah.
You're like, you
where
got to get
are
on the
they?
rocks.
Gotta
Get
stay
on
on
the
the
rocks.
road. Yeah, it's the safest. But
You guys know how to pole vault.
you guys ever hear how the creator of this movie came up with it? He
No.
was-
I have read that.
You have
Reveal it.
he's in the
No.
army, like or in the
Mhm.
military, and he was just sitting on a rock, like when he was on
Oh.
on duty. He was like, "Wonder if there's something down there." And then Tremors. Then
Yeah.
6 films later, and a mini TV show that didn't really go anywhere.
It
I've
should have been an
watched all of 'em.
animated show. It probably would have done better.
But you
Ooh.
need Bert. You need the same guy who is like for
Yeah.
some reason he always is he's signed on for every film, and they're making a new one. Which
Yes!
Are
I can't
they?
miss. Yes, I can't miss it. Jamie Kennedy was in the
excited.
last one. And it was like a generation story, kind of like a Fast and the Furious, and now they're making another one.
I gotta watch the
Wow.
entire series now
Mm-hmm.
because it's I think the 6th one. They're
Sixth
making
one.
a sequel, so they're not rebooting it as like Tremors. We're gonna start this over again.
Oh no! You can't
They
reboot
can't.
this.
They
No.
Can
No, no,
Kevin
no,
Bacon be
no.
in it, please?
He
Or is he? Oh wait, I
What's
don't know
he
what's happened to
doing?
his story throughout Tremors. So
Yeah,
maybe
I'm
maybe
not
something
sure if they
happened
killed
to
him
his
off.
character.
no, he could come. Like I think they just kind of like, nah, he's away. And then
Well,
he,
he would be a scientist now.
Mm,
He is a graboid specialist scientist now that like works for
Mhm.
NASA or some shit,
mhm.
and he is now brought back in to assess the situation and help all these poor town folk out. I did read some fun trivia about the worms. They were originally supposed to have like it's just the outer shell, and then it was gonna be the inner pink shell, but then they said it looked too phallic,
Oh,
I guess. So
I
they
could
were
see
like,
that.
oh, giggling on set, and they were like, we can't really do this, guys. So
Mhm.
then it became the little wormies that come
Mhm.
out and grab you.
I'm so surprised of how many like practical effects are used in that movie,
Yeah.
especially those worms. Like definitely were in a lot of my nightmares. Not the big ones, the tiny ones that came out of its mouth.
Oh yeah,
like,
anything
wrapped
that comes
around
out of a
people.
mouth is terrifying.
Mhm.
This
Such a good movie.
alien,
Mhm.
I don't know what else. Maybe Beetlejuice.
Maybe.
Anything that comes out of a mouth.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mhm.
nope, no, thank you. I love that this like bombed at the box office because it cost 11 million, only made 16 million, but it like tripled its box office in VHS rentals. So
Mhm.
good job, Tremors.
My
That's
dad
why you
owns
got all
7
those
of 'em.
sequels.
My
Yeah.
dad owns 7 VHSs and like 3 DVDs and at least 1 Blu-ray of the original Tremors
Wow,
movie.
he's the
Fantastic.
reason
Mhm.
that this was so
Thanks,
successful.
Nate. Mhm.
Good job.
He's individually fueling the rest of the franchise.
I had this on tape growing up, but it was one of those ones where like I recorded it
Mhm.
because it was playing on TV, so it still had. Don't you love those?
Oh, yeah,
it still has all the
commercials.
commercials and everything, and you've like memorized
Mhm.
all the commercials. That and like Practical Magic, I had that on tape. All the great
Right.
'90s films of
Nice.
my wonder years
That you
are on
taped
tape with
off
commercials.
of the
That I-
television.
yeah, that I taped off
Okay.
of, like TBS or USA
Right.
or something, and it's full of commercials for like Applejack cereal, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yes.
Oh,
Remember Applejack? Do
Yeah.
they still make
They still make
I think
those.
so,
They
but it's
do.
not the same.
It doesn't taste as
Nothing's
good.
the same.
No.
Nothing stays the same.
Hmm.
This podcast is a downer now.
What's not a downer is this film. Um,
It's
you know-
up like a phallic penis. No, I'm just
Wow.
kidding. Whoa, whoa! It
I
went there.
think
you
this
guys.
was the most violent movie I watched as a kid. Like, there's never like anything super violent that happens on screen. It's always
Mhm.
just like kind of off screen, or they get sucked underground really fast.
Mhm.
But I think I was scared of beaches and I was scared of playgrounds
I was
after
gonna
that.
say, is
Mhm.
this the like on surface Jaws? Like, is this Jaws?
It's definitely has the same emotional weight and acting chops. Like,
Yes.
Kevin Bacon does some magic in this movie.
Absolutely.
And that
Mhm.
hair is
That
magic
hair,
as
Oh,
well.
it's
oh,
like flip,
feathered. Yeah, it's
flip.
perfect.
Where did he get a straightener and like a Farrah Fawcett flipping thing in the middle of the desert? Where did
Maybe
he
it's
get
the
that?
humidity.
I don't
I
Maybe.
don't know.
I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned Jaws because it was originally supposed to be called Land Shark. Like they went through all these different titles
Oh.
and they finally settled on Tremors.
Tremors is definitely
Land
better.
shark.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
Graboid's just such a classic name. It's so no thought put into it whatsoever. They
Nothing,
just
just
like
it's
really
like
quick.
It's like a graboid thing.
They're like
That's
alien
something I would
name,
say,
and they grabbed it. Okay, there you go.
graboid. It's like,
This would be a great video game. I'm surprised they
yeah.
didn't do that. Like
Fantastic.
arcade video game.
I have a feeling it would bomb really hard if they made it right now. But I would
Yeah,
still buy
right
it.
now. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to go back to the 90s and
Mhm.
like make it then. I'm sure there's a pinball. I bet you there's a pinball machine that's
There's gotta be a
Tremors.
pinball.
For sure.
Ben, look
Mhm.
that up.
Ben,
If there's a pinball, see if you're gonna order
Ben,
it,
is there a
please.
Tremors pinball?
I don't know about pinball, but I have a video game answer for
Okay,
you.
video
Yay.
game.
Okay.
Tremors is a canceled video game that was based on the Tremors films. The game was announced in August 2002 by Rock Solid Studios.
Just
So-
too late. Too late.
2002. They took their
Oh,
time.
over a
This-
decade.
Yeah.
They
It's-
missed the boat.
It's a single-player, third-person survival horror game.
I feel like it would be more matched to that game Snake that you used to have on your
Yeah.
Mm.
I
on
feel like-
your little cell phones
I
when
feel
we
like
have
it's
little
scary.
ones.
I feel like it'd work better as like an arcade-style old game
Yeah,
than a
right.
like
With like a
AAA.
ball that you roll around. I don't know. Anyways,
No.
I'm just spitballing. I don't make video games, guys.
You
I
should.
don't. I probably should. I really, for a long time, wanted like a cheerleading video game, which pretty much is the game Just Dance now.
A little bit.
Just Dance is amazing. I really need to actually buy that, and then just it. But it's fun with like people. It's not. It's not. It's fun in a group. Like you can't just do it at home. That's
I've
the
done it-
problem.
I've
And
done
I'm
it alone.
antisocial, so that would be fun if you have it like recorded of you just doing it all alone. Anyways, let's go on to our link.
can I do one more?
You
piece
do
of
one more
trivia, though?
thing.
Okay.
Let's do our closing arguments
Okay.
for
well, all
why
right,
Tremors is
closing argument-
amazing.
Closing trivia.
Okay.
I really just want to talk about the fact that the song that's playing in the station wagon when the doctor and his wife or
Yes.
whoever they are being sucked underneath is called "Drop Kick Me Jesus."
Okay.
And I don't
okay.
know what that is in reference to. I don't know what that means. I'm not familiar with the song, but when I read that, it explains so much to me. And I feel like it really, truthfully, faithfully belongs in this film.
Okay.
Drop Kick Me Jesus. And I might get that tattooed somewhere in my body. 'cause I don't know.
That's
Why
a good
not?
tattoo.
It just sounds
Why not?
awesome.
I feel like if you're a fan of monster movies, this is a perfect one for you.
Yeah.
It's a monster that never really quite like got the attention it deserves, but
Yeah.
there's plenty of movies you can go watch. Tremors 2 as well is really fun.
Aftershock.
Mm.
Aftershock. That's such a great name. And Tremors 3 straight to DVD. Love it because they start to like evolve the graboids. Like I don't want to
Mm.
spoil it, but basically you get your Pokemon evolutions of the graboids. Like they have like
Whoa.
different abilities. And the third one is when they just kind of like they gave up. They're like, what else can it do? It's like, okay, can do this now. But if you're a fan of practical effects, I know there's plenty of film nerds out there that love it, and of monsters, you gotta love Tremors.
Fantastic.
And Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Bacon.
Guys.
Kevin Bacon.
I mean, he is the inspiration for this show because
Yeah.
6 Degrees of Feature Film, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
Yeah. And normally at the end of our show, we do like how our feature film links up to Kevin Bacon, but he's in our feature film today. So
Nailed it.
yay, we did it.
Is that the first time that's happened on our show?
I think so.
You're welcome.
I love it. I love it.
Mind blown.
Mm.
All right, let's go ahead and link it to our
Alright,
next 2
alright,
films. So we're going to
alright.
take Tremors and we're going to link it to movies that have hidden weapons that are later revealed. And we kind of, one of them we kind of like, it's
It's a
I
push.
can't, anyways,
It's a
you'll
stretch.
see.
Uh-huh.
But we're going to start with Kingsman.
Yay.
So let's start with Kingsman, which
Mhm.
came out sometime. Here's my notes on it. February 13th, 2015. Kingsman: The Secret Service, directed by Matthew Vaughn. If you have not seen it,
Highly
Stacey, would you
recommend it.
like to give us the synopsis
I
for this?
would love nothing more than to do that. Let me just
Okay.
get my paper ready as I just sit here and look pretty. Okay.
Okay.
So, Kingsman: Secret Service. A spy organization recruits an unrefined but promising street kid into the agency's ultra-competitive training program, just as a global threat emerges from a twisted tech genius. It was released in 2014. Did we
Or
already talk about-
15.
or 15? I
Either
think
one.
He says 2014, so I went
It's
with
the
that.
past.
But
It's probably one of those things where it says it next to the name, and then when you scroll down and see when it came out in the US, it says
it was
a
probably
different date.
released a little bit earlier.
So like in the UK, it came
Yeah.
out in 2014, but for us, it came out in 2015.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff like
Yeah.
that happens.
Is
Is
Or
that how big
Ben is
time
saying
difference
no.
is? I thought
20
it was just 8 hours.
It was
difference.
pure
Wow.
2015.
Ooh.
Like the premiere was January 14th, 2015 in London. It was pure 2015.
Well, IMDb says
Ooh.
2014.
Well,
so
I also looked at IMDb
I
and
want
it
none
said
of your shit, then.
2015, so I don't know what's going
There's
on with
gonna be
you,
a
Stacey.
I don't
fight.
know. I don't want none of y'all shit. Okay, starring
always
Taron
fight.
Egerton, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, Sophia Botello, Samuel L. Jackson, the king himself, Mike Cocaine, Mark Hamill makes
Yeah,
a little
Mark
cameo.
Hamill. I always forget that he's in there. He
Yeah.
shows up and you're like, you kind of sound like the Joker right now because he's not
Yeah.
doing
Mhm,
his
mhm.
voice,
Right.
but he sounds a little bit Joker-esque, and that makes me
Right.
really happy as a Batman fan.
It's like
This
a,
is
it's
yours
like
in
a
case you
British,
didn't know.
Oh, thank
British
you.
Joker-esque.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, I remember when it came out thinking, oh, they're trying to do like an original film. You know, it's not a sequel, it's
Mhm.
not a comic book. Okay,
Mhm.
good for them. And really, it is like just a great homage to all the Bond films.
Right.
The best
and
parts
spy,
of them.
yeah, the best parts of them. And I just thought it was a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't incredible. I wasn't like, this is the game changer, this is Oscar winning, but it was just a good time at the cinema. And it
Mhm.
was made by someone who loves those movies.
Mhm.
And I felt like it was kind of like, you know, when Edgar Wright made Shaun of the Dead because he loves all the zombie movies, and also made Hot Fuzz because he loves, you know, all the like
Ooh.
action movies. Like this is someone who loves Bond films and made the same kind of movies. So there you go. It was just a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I was into it.
This movie, I really didn't know anything going in. I saw one
Mhm.
trailer like 6 months before, and then I didn't really think about it. My brother is like he has like a finger on the pulse of. Oh yeah, it's based on a graphic novel.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it now?
yeah.
All
It
right,
was like
well,
Mark
whatever.
Millar or something. I mean, it's somebody. It's I can't. I'm not good with names of authors, but I didn't know anything going into it. So going and watching this movie, everything was just a treat. Like Samuel Jackson's performance, it's really nice to see
Yes.
him. I was trying to think of a connection. This is not my connection that I have, but it's really nice to see him do something that's not Nick Fury, because it's always like
Yeah.
he kind of just
Yes.
like copy pastes that into other movies, which is
Mhm.
fine because that character is great and I love that persona. But seeing him like bring in the lisp, which actually wasn't like originally.
I know.
It
And
wasn't
then Matthew
originally
Vaughn
in the
was like, "What are
movie.
you doing?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "But all great Bond villains have like
Like a
some sort of
thing.
Yeah.
like thing that they're
Uh-huh.
known for."
And that's one of
Mhm.
his, like he overcame a lisp when he was younger, when he got
Mhm.
into acting. So like that was a great little nod to it. And how much work Colin Firth put into this movie because he was so excited about it. I loved it. And I think Matthew Vaughn, Kick-Ass, I think that's the first movie I saw, but the first time I fell in love with him was First Class. And
Mhm.
seeing him take a swing at a spy movie, it realized how much I love spy movies, because recent James Bond movies besides Casino Royale, I don't really like them. Like it's like they're fun,
Yeah.
not fun actually. They're just cool and they're not fun though. I've never had fun watching like Skyfall or Quantum of Solace or the new Spectre, the newer one.
Mhm.
That might
James
be
Bond is a
divisive.
big
I like
hole
Spectre.
in my viewing. Like I have seen the ones with Pierce Brosnan,
There you go.
and that's it.
Oh,
So that's the problem.
Halle Berry. What's the ice one? What's the ice
I
movie?
don't
Another Day,
remember.
I
First
feel like it's
fan
Halle Berry.
movie that my friends and I made was a parody of Die Another Day, but we didn't have ice, so it was just in our living room with blue sheets.
Hey, why
Uh-huh.
not?
Uh-huh.
Can
Gotta
I say
start
it was-
somewhere.
It was funny that because in I believe one of the scenes where you are first revealed to Halle Berry in Diner of the Day is when she's like emerging from the sea, in,
Right,
like an
like
orange bikini.
10.
Yeah, like 10. But then in either it's Casino Royale or what's the other movie I'm trying? What's the next one?
Spectre? Oh, wait.
Quantum of
Nope,
Solace
Qua-
was after
nope,
that.
what's after that?
Skyfall.
Skyfall.
Mhm.
I think he emerges from the sea too, and I'm like, they're just doing what they did with Halle Berry. It's
Halle
like
Berry
the
did
same
it
thing.
first.
Just emerging in his bathing
Mhm.
suit and
Uh-huh.
showing off his body. I also just want to point out, okay, so I looked it up. Look, it says 2014 on IMDb.
It
I'm
And then
not
does.
crazy,
scroll
you guys.
down.
I'm not, what do you mean scroll down? It doesn't say anything else.
Scroll
Does it
down. It's
say-
gonna
Where?
have the release
No.
date.
No.
You're getting
There.
close
Okay.
to it.
Well, up
2015.
there, I go from the
You
first
can't
date
go
that
off
pops
of the
up.
top.
Technically, there
I
are
go
2
off
dates.
the top all the time, you guys. Okay.
I think there's only one flaw in this movie. It's
Uh-huh.
just one tiny flaw. It's at the very end, and I think a lot of people like recognize it because it really takes everyone like catches everybody off
Takes
guard.
you out of the movie when
Yeah.
she's like,
Here's a sex joke that really comes out of nowhere.
yes,
And,
it
like,
just doesn't fit.
I laughed at it because I was uncomfortable in the theater because I saw it with my parents, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it comes back to it. I like the James Bond joke of like he gets the girl at the end and she's a princess and whatever. But I was like, oh, you're trying to spin it, and I don't know if that landed. But everything else in the movie,
Mhm.
and also like I know you guys have your like trivia stuff, but
Mhm.
the woman who was supposed to play Sophia Botello's role was
Mhm.
originally like she's a
Double
She-
amputee.
amputee. Thank you. I could
Mhm.
not think of the word, and
Mhm.
that would have been a really fun like thing in this movie, but she couldn't do it because of the Olympics. So,
Right.
and that's the first time I fell in love
Mm.
with Sophia Botello because she is beautiful.
She is, and she's
Mm.
gonna be in the new Mummy. You guys, she's
Yeah.
Mummy.
churning out. She
Mhm.
keeps getting booked for these things.
And J-Law in Star Trek Beyond, she was really good in that.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Mhm.
she was great in that.
Yeah, she was great.
Awesome.
Can we talk about the church scene
The best
just
thing
for
in
a
cinema
moment?
for like the past
Sure.
20
I
years.
was
Yeah.
not prepared for how graphically violent
Mhm.
that scene would be.
It's the best. When
Yet
he
I
throws
was
the guy
into
against the
it.
wall face first, it's like, oh my god, that person's just accordioning. I don't know the word for it, but he just kind of shrinks.
Crush like a can.
Yes. Oh.
Crush like a sun-kissed can, you
Mhm.
guys.
But like they make the people so disgusting and awful, like they're like
Mhm.
the hate group, and you can't get behind them. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to kind of see them like
Yeah.
disappear and go
Sure.
away.
Yeah.
But it does end with a great twist, like the Sam Jackson, like
Mhm.
them like making fun of the spy genre and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do we feel about the next one, knowing that Colin Firth is around there? What are our thoughts?
Well, in the trailer, they just show it right out the bat, like right off the bat. That and
Mhm.
so I'm fine with that. And also all the twists they're doing with the Statesman, which is the American version of the Kingsman, all their
Mm.
code names are based off of, instead of King Arthur lore, it's alcohols. So
Mhm.
Channing Tatum is tequila, and I think
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges is bourbon. I'm not gonna, don't quote me on that. All I know is that Channing Tatum is tequila, and I think that's
Mhm.
a great like little twist. And I love seeing Halle Berry, and somebody from the first film is making a return that you might not expect, and I'm excited about that.
Aside from Colin Firth.
Excited, yeah.
Colin Firth?
One
Mm.
of the people that Eggsy was in training with,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Mhm.
the
Okay.
little snot nose
the
one.
snot nosed one. Yeah, he's actually in the trailer, and
Oh.
I'm really
Really? Oh, I missed that.
he's cybernetic arm man.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I love these movies, and I just picked up the graphic novel because I cannot wait. I cannot wait to read it.
Because will the graphic novel be true to what they're trying to do for the movie?
I
Is
have
that
no idea, and
the
that's
thought
what.
there?
Yeah, I'm just so excited because I love the movie so much. Hopefully, I'll love the graphic novel as well.
Stacey, you read
Fantastic.
graphic novels ever?
I do not.
Missing
Okay.
I
out.
do not.
I've
It's
read
not that I have
one.
anything against them. I just haven't. I haven't read it.
Hmm.
You know, I don't have time. I don't have. Sometimes I miss graphic
They're so
novels.
quick.
Just like you miss.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Miss graphic novel
Miss
can be
graphic-
your
graphic
name.
novels. That's great. That's fantastic. It rolls off the tongue, you guys.
Mhm. I need to continue. So I started Why the Last Man. I've gotten through the first good book. The good book. But now I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen with the astronauts? Like that's what I need to go to Comic Bug, which is near my house, and like actually get the next one because it's like a series that is now and still happening and still being written. And I mean everything's still being written, but like
Mhm.
I can start at the beginning,
Mhm.
which is different than like trying to jump into Superman or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's tougher. But I actually got that at VidCon last year,
Mhm.
and I didn't go to a lot of parties because I wanted to stay at my room and actually finish Why the Last Man. And I did, and I cried at the pool at the Hilton because it was so good.
Aw,
Yeah, spoilers. You might cry.
I might cry.
At the
Mhm.
pool
Okay.
at the Hilton.
At the pool at the
That's-
Hilton.
That's
I
not
mean,
where
I
I'm
feel like
staying
it's
at
the
Comic
best-
Con, but I mean, it could be at the Lowe's.
Mhm.
So
It's the best place to cry is the pool because you can
Mhm.
just take a dip and then
No one will
all
know.
those they're lost like tears in the rain. You dip it and it goes away.
It's beautiful.
That was a beautiful line, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Let's move
ad-libs.
on
No
to
one's
our
ever said that.
next movie.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's move on to our next film where their hidden weapons are revealed, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And that is
Kind
Unbreakable. I mean, because he's a weapon,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce
and
Willis.
and that's revealed.
Yes.
So
And
there you
there's
go.
You guys
the
were
link.
stretching.
There's the link.
The more you know.
This came out November 22nd, 2000. And obviously, we're still talking about it today, mainly because of Split that came out, and now Glass, which will be coming out. This is about a man who learns something extraordinary about himself after a devastating accident, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Here's the thing. I remember watching this in 2000 in the theaters and thinking, that was okay. Great. No big deal. Like, and moving on with my life. Like, I was like, it wasn't Sixth Sense, but it was
Really?
great.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. And then I watched it 2 nights ago and I was like, this is so much better than I realized at the
Mhm.
time. And maybe it's because now I know so much about superhero films and I've seen so many different versions, and this was before Iron Man started the whole superhero boom. And watching it now and seeing how artistic it is and beautifully shot and everything, every single frame of this film has so much detail into it. And I thought I really missed it the first time because I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about The Sixth Sense and how it lines up with that. And that made it so I didn't appreciate what was happening.
I actually didn't watch it
So.
until like 2009. I didn't like
Mhm.
growing up. Like my parents would just replay Signs and The Sixth Sense over and over
Okay.
again, and then I found out like, oh, there's a movie that came out in between, and so I watched it, and it was like in the middle of like right after like Iron Man and everything.
Mhm.
I feel like this movie. A lot of people say this online, but this movie maybe should have come out in like 2010. Like I like
Mhm.
in the like right in the middle of everything happening because a lot of people feel like overwhelmed by all the superhero movies. That's why I think Split did so well because it was like when you find out it's a twist on the genre, a lot of people really appreciated it. And I think Unbreakable would get a more of a following. It has a pretty big
Mhm.
following now, but if it came out like right now, because it's a really interesting take on the superhero genre. I love
Definitely.
it. Yeah.
I read
Seriously.
there's a couple of trivia that talked about how it paid homage to comic book films and comic books in general. So the film was shot in a series of very long tracking shots, often with stark shadows or unusual camera angles to mimic the storyboard flow of the comic book. And the use of bright saturated colors like red, blue, orange, etc. in a scene of muted colors is intended to be reminiscent of a comic book. So this is used when they highlight the people in David's visions, but also used in other occasions, like with the little girl in the yellow coat on the train. So all of those things are just a very like kind of subtle, nuanced way to pay homage to the comic book film or comic books in general. So someone like me who doesn't read comic books may just watch this film and think, "Oh, that looks cool, that looks different." But for someone who does read comic books, may see it and say, "I know why they're doing that. This looks really great. It makes me feel like I'm watching a comic book right now." But it's not a true comic book movie because it's not a comic book character we're already familiar with. It's more just what comic books would be in real life.
I watched it without before I even like sent my list to you guys. I was watching it on a plane because I was just getting back from or going to Hawaii, and I downloaded it and I watched it. But during that scene when he's standing in the train station, if you guys notice, like, but every single person he touches has a specific pattern or like color that is popping,
Right.
and I really appreciated that. I thought that was really cool, and I learned like a little piece of trivia that when they were shooting this, they would only do takes like 4 to 5 times, and they would just be long takes from like 1 or 2 angles, and everyone was very nervous they didn't actually get enough coverage for the scenes, even though like the performances in this movie, especially from Bruce Willis and the kid are amazing. They were just very nervous of what the final product would be, but it turned out to be amazing.
Yeah.
It did.
I can't wait to see what they do with Glass and that twist
Yes.
when I saw it because I knew nothing about it. I remember I had to pause it and then get up from my desk. I was like, oh, wait a minute, and then I backed it up, and then I went back and listened to the rest of like the reveal, and like finally got to the end, and him saying like, "Oh, that's why they call me Mr. Glass," and I was like, "Damn, I think I need to go for a walk," and I have to like
Yeah.
process like how well like planned out this was during the movie, and how I feel so stupid for not seeing it coming.
What I also like about that ending is watching it back just a few nights ago. It started to get to that part, and I was like, "No, we're already here. It's already over." Like I knew that the movie was ending, and I'm like, "No, there's got to be more. Like he just saved this family. There has to be more that I can see." And so now I'm really excited for Glass.
I can't wait to see an older version of him. I feel like there's like I don't know what twist they're going to do with Glass. Like obviously it's going to be focusing probably on Samuel L. Jackson's character, but also it's going to be dealing with James McAvoy and
Right.
Bruce Willis. So I don't know what twist we're getting.
So they're in jail together, is what I'm thinking.
Oh,
right?
but he
Wouldn't that make
wasn't
sense?
caught though.
They didn't catch James
maybe
McAvoy's character.
Oh,
Yeah, he got away.
that's right.
I feel like
That's right.
Samuel
She
L.
was in the back
Jackson-
because she was rescued.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like
I
Samuel L.
feel
Jackson
terrible
is
that
gonna
I just spoiled
take
it.
over James McAvoy's body
Oh, classic.
because
Oh,
he,
okay, okay.
his body is obviously very brittle, and his bones break like glass. And James McAvoy is strong, and he can't be hurt. So Samuel L. Jackson is going to want to take over that body. I feel like I don't know how he would do that, but I'm just saying I'm trying to think of everything.
I mean,
all the
there's
ways it
another
could
movie
connect
that I could connect it to, but that would totally spoil it.
Yeah,
and
so
I'm
it's
thinking
not.
it's something
I
that
know
came
what
out
you mean.
recently.
I know
Ooh.
what movie you're
It's a
talking
horror
about.
film.
Ooh.
Anyways,
I know what
I want
movie.
to know what it is.
okay,
we'll
we'll
talk about
tell
it
her.
after.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I really,
Reveal.
I've already spoiled Split, so
I
now I
do
don't
it-
want
I
to
do it
spoil anything
all
else.
the
Split's been
time.
out. Split has been out,
I'm
and everyone's talked
still-
about. Everyone's talked about the end. I feel like
Mm.
already, so it's
The
already. out
twist came out before the movie came out because one reviewer like said it, and then like
Oh,
every site that
no.
likes to talk about that
Oh,
grabbed
I
it, and I
didn't
just
see that.
like I've been better about clicking on those articles, so I
Mhm.
didn't know about it going in, which was really fun. And actually, people caught it when the posters came out because actually the posters for Split and Unbreakable, if you put them next to each other, they
Oh,
line
they
up.
look alike.
Like the shatter pattern on Unbreakable lines up with the Split shatter, so people were like,
Oh.
"Oh yeah," so those movies are connected,
Then
obviously.
get a side by side
That's
of
cool.
that. 'Cause
Mhm.
I'm very
Somewhere on
curious.
Reddit. Hopefully Reddit's easy to go through.
Yeah.
But the opening to this
Hopefully.
movie is so
Don't do that.
haunting.
Mm.
The opening with the birth of Mr. Glass.
Ah, look at that.
Mhm.
Guys,
Whoa,
look
that's
this up.
really
Mhm.
cool.
It's
Okay,
pretty
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Damn
Thank
it,
you, Reddit.
Shyamalan.
Mhm.
Is that how you say your last name? Because
Mm.
I never know. But I pretend like I do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Mhm.
we went from Tremors, and then we talked about movies where there is a scene where weapons are revealed with Kingsman: The Secret Service, as
Mhm.
well as Unbreakable. And now we're gonna split off of those two films.
Split.
Sam, would you
Hey.
like to go first? You're going off of Kingsman,
Off of Kingsman. Okay.
or do you
so,
want us to go first?
I have two movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
2 movies.
So from Kingsman,
Mhm.
I started thinking about the scene when Harry Hart and Valentine have McDonald's together with like wine and that product
Yes.
placement. I remember in the theater, I was like, I kind of like rubbed my temples and my eyes. I was like, oh god, okay. I love it, but there's something about that when I see a product placement like that, I'm like, my insides kind of hurt.
Uh-huh.
So there's one movie I wanted to pick for its use of like ridiculous product placement, Wayne's World, but I didn't pick it
Yes.
because I haven't seen it since I was a child and I don't remember enough of it. So I
Okay.
picked two more recent movies, and if there's really big film nerds watching right now, they're probably not going to like what I'm going to say. But Transformers 4.
Okay.
The Extinction, because it's a classic and it should have been nominated. But no, I don't know why they needed so much money for this movie. But there's a scene where Mark Wahlberg and I think Optimus Prime are like flying through Chicago and they crash through a Bud Light truck. I don't know if you guys have seen this. And then this guy gets mad that his
Incredible.
car got crushed. So Mark Wahlberg's like, yeah, you know what I have to say to that? And he grabs a Bud Light and he cracks it open and he chugs it in front of the guy. And that's the end of the scene. And I'm like, what does this have to do with anything that's happening right now?
That is amazing.
It's such I can't
I
wait
dropped
for.
off of Transformers after the second one,
Oh,
so
that's
I
fine.
need to get back in. Obviously,
Nah, you're not
No?
missing anything. No, it gets bad. But I
Hmm,
watch it
okay.
because we review movies, and like sometimes we just have to pick like an action movie that's coming out because we know people who
Mhm.
like Only Stupid Answers will like those. But second one, this movie is very divisive, but I love it because I'm a nerd and I can't help myself. But
Mhm.
Man of Steel, there's a scene where Zod and Superman are meeting for the first time, and they're flying through Smallville, just destroying everything, and it's ridiculous and it's kind of hard to watch. But
Mhm.
then they fly through a 76 gas station, and then they fly through an IHOP, and they're like fighting inside of an IHOP, and here's the IHOP sign, and here's the menu, and people are fleeing from the IHOP with their like plates, and then they fly through a Sears, and it's like the Sears
Yes.
logo, and it explodes, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like it's a small town.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
Smallville's not this big. It doesn't have a mall this big. And like, why
Yeah.
are they only
have a
picking
Sears.
stores? Like, why aren't they fighting out in the giant cornfield or like the nuclear reactor you just blew up? But in both of those movies, I was like, I can't. Can we leave the brands for just a second and get back to the story?
No,
But
nope, you
they're
can't.
classic though. They're classic. But I wish I watched Wayne's World recently so I could actually talk about the classics.
Was it Wayne's World or was it Wayne's World 2 that really did it?
I think it's
It was in the first one
First
because
one.
Okay.
remember he did.
I remember the
I think it was
Doritos.
Pizza Hut.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
And
And then it was
Pepsi.
like-
Pepsi and
Definitely.
like there's like three other ones they go through. I don't know.
There's also another fantastic example of cinema that no one talks about when it comes to product placement.
Mhm.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Uh-huh.
You guys,
Mhm.
Tell us.
that's part of the plot in the movie is that they are putting subliminal messages in their music so that people will
Mm.
go out and have a Burger King hamburger or something.
Mm.
But that's also product placement for the actual
Yes.
film. So I just thought it was genius on a subconscious level, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So Josie and the Pussycats, just
Yeah.
an existential.
And I think
film.
last week we talked about the movie Hop, which has over 90 product placements in it.
I
Wait,
haven't
Hop
seen
the
Hop.
Easter
Hop,
Bunny?
yes.
Oh God, it was that.
Where
James
he
Marsden.
shits and you
Mhm.
eat the shit or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah,
Classic.
you know.
As you do in
Yeah.
life. We're all just eating shit, getting through the day.
Hop is really deep.
It is.
Mhm.
Oh man,
Oh.
it needs to be on How Did This Get Made? Like I want to hear them talk about that.
I also want to do Power Rangers, but that movie just came out. But there is product
Mm.
placement in that is
Oh, but
And
it's
you're
integral.
in that.
It's great.
Who's
Aren't
in
you
it?
the main character? I
Right.
swear that guy looks like you.
You do
Oh well,
look like
thank
him.
you. He's much more in shape and better at acting. But but the product placement in that is so shocking and so important to how to progress the movie along. But I
Mhm.
appreciate it, Krispy Kreme. Thank you so
What
much.
is a
I
Krispy
love
Kreme?
Krispy Kreme.
What is a
What is
Krispy
this?
Kreme?
And
And she
then
like
she eats
eats.
It's great.
She's
She
eating
like
it.
takes her little claws and she's like, "Shh."
hmm
It's fantastic.
That
Power
movie,
Rangers.
that
you
movie
guys.
is all over
I
the
love it.
place.
I love it so much.
Me
I
too.
loved the new Power Rangers movie.
Thank you for that link because we haven't done that before and I appreciate it.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you.
We're going to link off of something Unbreakable. Stacey, you want
Yes.
to tell us what our link is?
Our link is, of course, M. Night Shyamalan films. You guys,
Simple,
he
simple.
had a very simple link. We usually like to go elaborate and make up weird links, but today we're just gonna go basic.
Sometimes we're
directors.
lazy.
Yeah, sometimes we don't want to think about it.
I get you.
It's a lot
So-
to do this podcast every week, you guys.
You want to do yours first?
I would love.
I haven't
nothing more.
seen yours.
You haven't seen mine?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's not surprising.
So I went with Lady in the Water. Now you are doing another film, which I actually like the film you picked today, and
Okay,
I
great.
wasn't upset about Lady in the Water when it first came out. I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, he's trying to do like a creative bedtime story kind of movie. And
Mhm.
then when I read a lot of the reviews about it and really people did like an in-depth analysis of the film and why they don't like it, it changed my opinion about it, which doesn't happen very often.
Hmm.
I don't often read other people's reviews and then that changes how I think about it. Normally I'm like, I just like it, whatever. I don't care what anyone else says. But once they talked about it a little more, I was like, oh, I get it. I guess, yeah, that's kind of bad that happens in the movie. But Lady in the Water, for those who have not seen it, an apartment building superintendent, Cleveland Heap, rescues what he thinks is a young woman from the pool he maintains. When he discovers that she is actually a character from a bedtime story who is trying to make the journey back to her home, he works with the tenants to protect his new friend from the creatures that are determined to keep her in our world. Now, that sounds like a really interesting and fun concept,
I
right?
love this movie.
I thought it was executed beautifully,
Mhm.
but then a lot of people talk about some of the they feel like this was M. Night Shyamalan's response to critics and how in the movie he is basically a writer and he like saves the story.
Yeah,
and
he
then
saves the world.
and then the
yeah.
critics is the critic guy in the movie is, you know, the cynical bad guy and then he gets killed off.
Mhm.
So they were like, that's just him, you know, bitter and trying to put that in the movie. And I was like, okay, I guess that's bad. But I still enjoy the hell out of this
Mhm.
film. And I think it was super creative and different. And I liked where he was going with it. And I thought the set pieces, the design, the creatures, the narfs, and you know the grass things. I just thought it was all really
Yeah.
cool.
There was the wolf, and then there's the monkeys. Like,
Yeah.
there's two different grass things, and like
Yeah.
I remember seeing this, and I really liked it. Like,
Mhm.
I think it gets a little convoluted in the middle, where like they're switching up like roles and whatever. But
Oh, yeah.
I really like this movie, and for a long time I didn't hear what people's complaints were. I just heard they didn't like it, and I was like, I don't
Hmm.
really get the problem with it. I do see I thought it was a little weird that M. Night made himself the savior, but I didn't think that was like something that would ruin the movie for me. I think Paul
Mhm.
Giamatti gives an amazing performance, and he has like a stutter in it. And I thought like it's
Mhm.
one of those times where like speech impediment in a movie doesn't like after a while sometimes it can get like I don't know, it can deter from the
Too
movie.
much.
Right.
It can be too
right.
much, but in the movie it doesn't, and you get to see a really cool arc from him. And also, it's not her first movie, but I thought Bryce Dallas Howard did a really good job in it. So
Mhm. Yeah.
She always does a really good job. She also does a really good job in The Village,
Whoa.
which is what
Mm.
I'm going to be talking about.
Yes.
So what do you know? Look at that segue, kids.
and wow.
Boom.
July
The host
30th,
right
2004 is when The Village came out. It's about a series of events that test the beliefs of a small, isolated countryside village. It was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Score by James Newton Howard, who lost to Finding Neverland. Starring Joaquin Phoenix, Adrian Brody, Bryce Dallas Howard, William Hurt, Sigourney Weaver, Brendan Gleeson, was made for 60 million and made 256.7 million at the box
Wow.
office.
This was M Night's like biggest cast, like leading up to it.
True.
It was a big cast of really talented actors.
Yeah.
For a long time, it took me a long
Big
time to
names.
realize that Bryce Dallas Howard was blind in the film. I don't know why it took me so long.
You're like, oh crap, look at that.
But it did.
Why is she having so much trouble walking through those woods?
Why is she carrying a stick? Does she
Yeah.
limp?
Is she just playing around? This movie,
I don't know.
I was
why.
really
Carrying
disappointed
sticks is
with.
fun, you guys.
I was really disappointed with this because the marketing was way not what the movie was at all. It was
Sure.
looked like a monster movie, and then it wasn't.
It was
at all.
very little monster
Yeah.
in this. Plus, like, people I know were disappointed with the twist, but I was like, I don't really think there was supposed to be I don't really think it was a twist
Mm.
because like they gave so many blatant hints as to what the ending was going to be that I feel like it wasn't really meant to be a twist. It was just meant to be more of a reveal, which is less than a twist.
Mhm.
I
I don't know.
loved the twist in this movie. A lot of
Mhm.
people talk about The Village being the beginning of M. Night's
Downfall. Mhm.
And now he's back with Split. Thank God. Yay. Keep going. M. Night, we
Yeah.
love you. But I didn't hate The Village. I didn't hate
I
the
didn't
twist,
either.
and I didn't see it coming at all.
Mm.
I don't know if
Really?
that reflects on my intelligence level. And I'm
When
too
that
stupid to
woman
realize.
talked about the alley,
no,
she talks about an alley
There's
and something
alleys.
happening in an.
there's alleys.
There are
in
not
colonial
alleys in the
time.
in the
village.
ton in 1800s Britain, they had alleys. You
Mhm.
know, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. I did watch it in a hotel room one night. My parents, like, we were on a trip and they went out to dinner, and I was just kind of like bored, and I kind of flipped back and forth between other movies. So maybe I didn't like sit down and watch it and see a lot of those hints, but I don't know. I just didn't see it, and in the end, I was like, "Holy shit! It's modern day. What?"
Gotcha.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, brilliant twist." Like, whenever it was revealed to me, I was like, I didn't see it coming at all. I don't know. I don't know, you
I
guys.
liked Lady
I
in the
liked it.
Water more than I liked The Village when I saw it because
Really?
just because of the bad advertising for it. Because I was just like the whole time I couldn't get it out of my brain because also I was really young when this came out, and I used to like go to Apple trailers.com because like Apple would put out
Right,
all the big movie trailers,
yes.
and I would always watch like The Village over and over again. I'm like, yeah, he's doing a monster movie, but it's like colonial time. I'm like, yeah, this is great, but that's not what the movie's about, like, whatsoever. It's about the people and like
Mhm.
Adrian Brody, and he's whatever.
Kind of
and
like The Witch. The Witch is a family drama.
okay, The
Yes.
Witch was advertised really poorly. Like, I wanted to talk about that movie too because I got to see it at a festival
Yes.
not knowing anything. And then
Uh-huh.
when the ads came out for it, I was like, ooh, people are going to be mad. Like, that is not what this
People
movie
be
is
mad.
about. It's not what this is about at all, but I love The Witch.
Me
But
too.
the
Well,
Village,
it's fantastic.
the Village is well made and it's well acted, and
Mhm.
the twist got me, which was great. But I do kind of like Lady in the Water more, which I don't think a lot of people would say that.
Well,
I
I'll have to
I like
watch
The
it and let you
Village
guys
more.
know if I like it
Mhm.
more. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but I do like that Bryce Dallas Howard and Judy Greer are sisters in this. They also play sisters in Jurassic World.
Oh, I
Hey.
missed that until
What?
just now. Never thought of it.
I didn't
Me
think of
neither.
it until I read the trivia.
Hey.
That's when they come out of the village. They realize it's
Mhm.
modern times. She gets her eyes fixed, and then she becomes the director of Jurassic Park. Judy Greer gets married to the guy that she likes, and then they have
That's
kids, and
it's
then they get
all
divorced.
connected.
It's all an
Oh.
interconnecting universe.
So Hammond made Jurassic Park and this weird colonial village.
Yes!
Whoa.
Oh my god!
Which one made more
Amazing.
money?
I don't know.
Oh man, guys. I love that this was on Roger Ebert's most hated list, and that's all. That's the last thing I'm going to say about the village.
Oh, the village? Oh, bummer.
Too bad.
Mhm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we went from Tremors, then we linked it to movies with weapons that are revealed, and we did Unbreakable as well as Kingsman. Off of Kingsman, Sam linked it to movies that have ridiculous product placement with Transformers 4 and something else.
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
And another movie.
And off of Unbreakable, we did M. Night Shyamalan movies. I did The Village, and Stacy did Lady in the Water. That brings us to all 7 films, because we take one film and we show how 6 other films will link up to it,
Fantastic.
totaling
it.
7 films.
Wonderful premise.
So
Proud of us.
now we are going into movie link tweets, where I tweet out the first link, which is tell me movies that have weapons that are revealed. What's your favorite? And here's what I got back. And thank you to everyone that responded.
Lots
There
of
were lots of
responses.
responses. We didn't do all of them, I don't think,
We're
because
super
there's too many. Men in Black 2, Amy Gilroy, Alex Neil, O'Neill, Derek Holden, and Ben McElroy say. Matrix, Mark Tordai, Greg Alba, Tom Caswell, and Jeffrey. Terminator 2 is said by Mohammed Khan
Ooh,
and Brett Connolly.
That's a good one.
John Wick was said by Tatum Langley, Deezus, and Jerry S. Randall. I think Deezus is in the chat. So, hey, maybe you are.
Deezus!
I don't know. Maybe you're
Well,
gone
I
now.
see you, Terry. Hey, Terry.
And then Kill Bill by Morgan Robinson. Kingsman by Paul Tarascio, Elise McKenna, and Andrew Gonzalez. Hot Fuzz by Randall Sands. Hey, Randall. I think
Randall.
you're here.
Hey,
You're usually
Randall.
here.
Randall's always here. He's up a little further down.
Okay, okay. Sunny Ekchil and Commando by BGM Final Night, Thad McGraw, Monty Python by Michael Sutherland, Pulp Fiction by Jeff Brer, Mr. and Mrs. Smith by Andrew Alsup, and Soft Jaden, and Aliens by Neil Varma and Jack Shipley.
Very good.
Neil Varma's sometimes in the chat. Don't
Mhm.
know if you're here today,
Mhm.
but we see all of you.
We see you.
So that's it for movie link tweets. And again, we would link it to Kevin Bacon like we normally do because 6 Degrees of feature film, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. But Kevin Bacon's in our feature film, so there ain't no link. It's just him. He's there. And now it's the time of our show where we ask, would it be better with Rocky? Would Tremors be better with Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, as Michael Gross's character, which I don't remember the name of?
Burt Gummer. That's a
Mhm.
name.
Burt.
That is a
That's
name.
Burt
Performed by
Gummer.
Stacey Howard
All right.
right now.
Okay. Here we go. Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, bastard? Yo!
That was not your best one. Can you try it one more time?
What?
One more time.
I imagine
That
him with
was-
a
that was
giant
not
like
good.
black eye and like he's carrying the elephant gun.
Oh man,
One more
I'm
time.
so insulted.
So-
Okay, I really
because
did
I know
put
you
my
can do
all
this
into-
better.
I
It's,
really
it's
did
not
put my all
insulting.
into
It's that I'm trying to.
It is that
coach
truly
you.
hurt my feelings. It's fine. Okay. Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastard? Yo!
That was better. That
Okay.
was better.
It's pretty good.
My throat does hurt right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Genuinely, I am sick.
Sam, thank you so much for being on this show.
Thanks for having me.
Where can everyone find you?
On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Sam Bashor, SAMBASHOR. I'm learning to spell my name better. Also,
Mhm.
onlystupidanswers.com. You can find all the places to listen to our podcast and all the social media for that, and our Patreon. So it's super easy. We figured out how to do that too.
Yeah.
Learning internet
Nice,
things.
nice. Do you
Mhm.
have a YouTube? You have a YouTube channel.
Yes, Sam Bashor as well.
Sweet.
Mhm. Super
You're
easy.
just Sam Bashor everywhere.
Tried.
You
Some
win.
of you guys stole the URL though.
I know it's hard. It's hard sometimes. Stacy, where can everyone find you?
You can find me practicing my Rocky impressions, since apparently it's not good enough. And also on Twitter at SOHoward2012 and
Mhm.
Instagram at Stacey O. Howard.
And she was on Movie Fights, so you can go back and see
Hey.
that with DJ, who's
Yeah.
also on Only
DJ.
Stupid
DJ.
Answers.
Mm-hmm.
So check that out. That is on Screen Junkies channel right now.
It is indeed on the
Mhm.
YouTubes. And then, what should I say? What's coming up? No, on Friday?
no,
no,
what?
no.
What?
What's Friday?
No.
Something's happening
No,
Friday.
no,
Something.
Nope,
Mhm.
nope.
Nothing's
don't know.
happening.
Mhm.
I don't know. All
Stacy
right.
may be doing a Schmodown soon, but we don't know when that's going to be released.
We don't know.
Yeah, but
We
she has
don't know.
she has a match coming up
I do.
against Jonathan. It was announced.
Yeah, it was announced. It was on Facebook.
It was
Which
announced,
that's why
yeah.
I thought I could say.
Yeah.
But I don't know when it's going to be. Where can we find you, though?
You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. I don't know what else I have coming up. But I did a lot of crap on Friday. We're gonna be on Geek and Sundry. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Geek and Sundry
Hey.
Friday at 7
Yes.
on their Twitch channel for Gather Your Party with Erica and Stephanie.
Fantastic.
So check us out there. All right. Thank you everyone
Awesome.
for joining us. We will see you next time. Check out Film Therapy right after this with Sam. Bye.
Hey,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.